think it was in the summer of '98 or '99, though I'm not really sure what happened exactly. Um, I was just turned 18 and decided I was going to go find my father. Now, my father hadn't been around since I was 3. A couple different reasons for that. Too long a story to get into, but it was probably for the best. He, on one hand, he was gone, when on the other hand, uh, he was supposed to have joint custody of me with my mother, but my mother disregarded that order and it was never enforced. So she continued to move me every few months across the country, shuffling off with different relatives. Anyway, doesn't matter. What matters is, in '98, I went to go find my dad. And I found him in first I went to Jackson, Mississippi to find mutual relatives, and then I found him in a town called Salisbury, North Carolina. And I went out there to see what the heck was up with this guy, and I don't know, I wasn't thinking, let's explore and nurture a relationship. What did I know? Just a kid. Part of me thought, well, maybe this is time for me to show up and, erase him in some sort of way. Um, what I found also isn't important to this story, but it wasn't impressive. He lived in a small, really shit cockroach apartment in North Carolina, and he worked at a local textile company. And over the course of trying to get to know this dude, I would. Well, one night I went outside, insomnia, and it was like midnight, a little after midnight. I'm smoking cigarettes, looking up at the stars, wondering, what am I doing here? Should I go back to Chicago? Should I go back to West Virginia? I was looking at my car, this piece of crap, Chevy Celebrity, shaped like a hat, so many problems, uninsured. Thing took right turns on its own. You just let go of the steering wheel, and we're gonna turn right. Wonky headlight. Anyway, I'm in the parking lot, and I see this dude also in the parking lot. Comes up and approaches me, and he's a very large, heavyset man, and he says, "Hey, what you doing?" And we just started shooting the shit. And his story was that he'd been living in an apartment with a friend in that same complex, but that they had had a disagreement and he needed to get out. He needed to get to another town not too far away called Kannapolis, where he had a different place to stay. And I said, well, sure, I'll give you a ride, no big deal. Let's hop in. He said, okay, gotta go get my stuff. So I pulled my car over to his apartment, and we put some number, I didn't pay attention, of black uh, black suitcases and some black garbage bags of stuff in my trunk. And then he hops in, and we hit the road. And we get on the highway, listen to music, still just talking. He's much older than me. I would guess he was probably in his 40s. And yeah, so we're just kind of exchanging stories, and I tell him this story. And this story you tell as if it's true. You say, well, one time I picked up a hitchhiker, because that's something I do. Obviously, you're a hitchhiker, so this is something I do. But this one was different. It was a hot summer day, and I see this guy standing by the corner, and I know he looks dirty, and I know some people might think he looks scary, but I just thought, yeah, he looks just like my family. My heart goes out to him. I'm going to let him have a ride. So I pull over and say, hey, you going somewhere? And he says, sure. Yeah, I just need to get down the road a bit. And unlike a lot of unhoused peoples, this dude didn't have much with him. All he had was a small box. Small, kind of ornate, maybe like a jewelry box or something. And tried to have small talk with this guy. He was not into it. He was very circumspect. Just, and I definitely had some feelings like maybe I shouldn't pick up hitchhikers anymore. And so really the only thing to talk about was to say, well, what's hey fella, what's in your box? And he says, none of your damn business. And he's kind of gruff about it. Cool. Okay. This ain't cool. Start looking basically for another shoulder to pull off, where excuses, this is pre-cell phone. I didn't have anybody to call and act like, oh, I have to go. My aunt left her fireplace on, or I just didn't have any excuses. So I tell him I gotta go to the gas station, and if he goes inside with me, I'll get him something to eat and drink. And we pull over at a gas station, and as soon as he opens the door and steps out, I just gun it, boom, take off, let the door swing closed on its own momentum. I'm just done with that. Survived this situation. And, my adrenaline's pumping, and I look at the seat next to me, and his box is there. Now, it was at this point in the story that Mickey says, what was in the box? And I replied, none of your damn business. And Mickey didn't laugh. Mickey got so pissed. Oh, Mickey Collins. How could that even be his real name? Anyway, sounds like a drink that even at 40 I'm too young to order. He was so mad, but he continued to ride with me as we got closer from Salisbury to Kannapolis. I think it was a 15-minute drive, and he's drinking heavy and often from a brown bottle, very, very cliche trope there. And when we get off the highway and get into the town, I notice we're really not in a great looking part of town. There's a little bit too much nightlife for now, almost 1 a.m. Things just didn't feel comfortable. I mean, I wasn't expecting a gated community. I'd been around this point in my life, but it was pretty rough. And Mickey seems unsure of the directions. We're just kind of doing loops, cruising. We're cruising a neighborhood, and every once in a while, he'll just roll down the window and shout at people out on their porch. You young bucks think you're tough. You ain't nothing. I'm like, Mickey, you're gonna get a shot. This is not cool. Please stop. And his mood would just kind of go up and down and up and down. And he said, okay, well, we're almost there. Okay. We get, he directs me through kind of a maze of streets. I don't even know if I can find my way back to the highway. And he has me pull up in front of this long expanse of gravel lot, at the end of which I can see further back from the road is another apartment complex. He says, wait here. Okay, all right. So he hops up, goes up to the complex. I see him knocking on the door, and he disappears inside. Maybe this is the place, and this little interesting adventure is over for me. Well, he comes back, and now he's got a woman. She's also older, and she. I don't know. It's hot in North Carolina, but I don't think it was hot enough to justify how little she had on. She wasn't probably looking her best, probably not feeling her best. She spoke a kind of vernacular. She hopped in the back seat. Mickey got in the passenger seat, and he says, hey, sorry about this, but she's locked out. She's who I'm going to stay with, and we got to go down a few streets and go get a key. Sure, Mickey, that sounds like a great idea. Woman wants to know if I'm married. She indicates that since I'm not, that, she'll definitely get in my pants tonight, which is not something I was particularly looking forward to. We talk about cigarettes and whether I smoke Cadillacs or Rolls Royce. And then they had me drive just a little bit further, and they had me pull up basically at a corner. So let's see. Here's a big row of hedges, and then I park right here. So I can't see. They get out of the car, go all the way around the corner, and they say, "We'll be right back with the key." I'm under a streetlight. At this point, I'm done with this adventure. I just went out desperately. It's like 2 a.m. I look and look and look. They don't seem to be coming back. I pop my trunk and I take all of the garbage bags and the suitcases and put them all underneath the streetlight. It's just right there on the sidewalk. Like, Mickey, if you come back, you best be finding this. No, I don't see anybody else around. I don't think anyone's going to come take it. But I just I had such a horrible feeling that this was about to get worse. I mean, nothing bad had happened yet, right? Just a friend, just somebody, a stranger doing a favor to somebody, a new friend. So I put all the stuff there, and I get my car, and I take off, and I spend, the next 30, 40 minutes trying to find my way back to the highway and go back to my dad's apartment. Went back to the apartment, let myself in, and went to sleep. Didn't mention any of this to my dad the next day. I mean, I don't know this dude to call him my dad. Like, I don't know him. I'm just crashing on his couch as I figure out some stuff about him. And later that day, there's a knock on the door, and I open it, and oh, look, it's Mickey. Hey, I need my shit. What? I need my shit, my stuff from your car. I said, oh, okay. And he says, I can't get it right now. I'm staying at the Hojo down the street. You can just drop it off there in an hour. I said, okay. So I thought, fuck. He didn't see his pile of stuff under the streetlight. He just saw that my car was gone and assumed I stole it. Well, with Mickey gone, I went back to my car, popped the trunk now in the light of day, and yes, there's an entire suitcase I forgot. I didn't see it. My car was dark. It was dark at night. Streetlight just cast too many shadows for me to see it. So I went to the Hojo, asked for the room number that Mickey gave me. They said he was out, and I left the suitcase at the front desk and said, "Please give this to your guest in such and such room." And I went back home. Thought, okay, done. I'm done. Done with this adventure. What a funny story this will be. Next day, Mickey shows up again at the apartment. "Hey, yo, where's my shit?" I don't know, Mickey. I left it at the hotel, all of it. I gave all of it to the Hojo manager. You better take it up with him. Yeah, all of it, everything there. You know, and he was pissed. I don't know what was in those suitcases. Could have been all of his belongings, some clothes and books, or anything really. All I know is I never saw Mickey Collins again. I didn't stay in North Carolina very long. Had just worn out my welcome in a number of different places, including, but not limited to, the Waffle House, the Hojo, and the parking lot. It was just not a good place for me to be anymore. And got my car and drove back to the Chicago suburbs. Saw in the news a couple weeks later that a person was found tied to their chair, incinerated in one of the units of that apartment complex. So, I don't know, maybe dodged a bullet there, maybe not. Mickey Collins. I used to have nightmares about that dude. You know, I have thought, I don't even know how many times, like, just, was it money? Was it drugs? Was it something, was it like a Marcellus Wallace, like this is so, his soul was in there, and, when he didn't have it to, give back to the devil, he like failed to uphold his part of some sort of terrible agreement, and I don't know. I just know I never want to see that dude again. He was nice enough though. I mean, I've had a lot of other hitchhikers, and I've hitchhiked a lot, but I never had anybody quite like Mickey Collins again. You'd think the whole experience would have turned me off of it, but, people gotta get around. It's not easy out there. It's hot. Distances really start to suck. I'm definitely no stranger to walking 2 or 3 miles around a city. When I lived in Seattle for 6 years, didn't have a car. I enjoyed the walking. But once you get into all day on your feet, like walking 20 miles, anything that requires town to town where you've got to walk along a highway or a freeway where there's not a pedestrian way, it really starts to suck, and you just see all these individuals driving. It's like, what? 10 cars in a row, each one holding one person. You just feel like this is grossly inefficient way for our species to be getting around. There's 4 seats in that thing. I don't know. I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't needed to, but generally speaking, I'm not opposed to the notion of people helping each other out. I'm not sure if hitchhiking is a thing anybody even does anymore, or if it's like LSD, just some funny story gone with the rotary phone. Anyway, it's really weird not having someone to talk to, because usually I can just ask them questions, be delighted in their answer, watch their face, smile with them, see what parts of my memories get triggered based on what they're saying. Don't really like talking to myself. I saw some sort of video go around, it was kind of like a TikTok thing, where someone said, what are the types of men that you want to avoid dating? It didn't say dating, I think it said like, who do you not fuck with anymore? And not in the old way of using that term, like to fuck with used to mean like it would cause trouble to like don't fuck with me, but now it's like, oh, I don't fuck with that, meaning I don't play with, entertain, or like at all. I don't know, it's the weirdest thing. What I completely lost track of what I was talking about. Yeah, it's gone. I don't know, I've spent a lot of time by myself in my life. A lot of these road trips and adventures, usually they started off with companions, but things just fall apart, or I get up and leave in the middle of the night. Maybe you've seen that scene, the final scene, or maybe it's a spoiler, but fuck you. Train Spotting, where the main character Renton decides to I'm out of here. Well, I never took the money and ran, but I wasn't opposed to, when I'm in a bad situation, bad for any kind of reason, just leave. Don't even pack up, just leave. And I did that a lot growing up. There were mornings when I was a kid and you wake up for school and you notice, hey, there's a lot of activity downstairs in the house and it's still dark out. It's too early for school. Well, that's not biscuits and gravy I smell. It's fumes, we gotta go. And then we all pile in the car, leave everything. Go, yeah, well, where are we going? Gonna move to Pennsylvania. Gotta get out of here. What happened? I don't know. Maybe rent was overdue. We were past eviction. Power's gonna be cut off, or maybe there was some, imaginary phantom driving the decision. But it would just be, now we're leaving. And so once out on my own, I absolutely did that. And I had no real worry, because I felt certain that if I was in a bad situation and left and started walking, that, well, there's probably an underpass somewhere I can lay down, and who knows, maybe I'll die down there today. Cool. I never thought, oh, I'm gonna escape this situation. I'm gonna go to that shelter on, First Ave and check myself in and get on my feet. There's probably a program for people like me. I didn't know if it existed. I didn't want any part of it. Uh, I had heard so many of the restrictions and transactions that occur in shelters. You're making exchanges. I didn't want to be part of the program. I really knew I didn't have anything figured out, but I certainly didn't want to be indoctrinated into something and to have my freedom of mobility restricted, which is really distrustful. It's basically a feral cat, like I would bite the hand that was offering me food because I just do not trust you. And that cat has every reason to feel that way, even though your intentions were just like, good kitty, good kitty. Anyway. Rambling. Maybe next time we'll actually draw something. I woke up this morning with almost no sense of compositional imagination. I'm trying to finish the first draft revisions on something that's incredibly short. I'm talking 30 to 50,000 words. And yesterday, I just couldn't make any sense of it. Yet the whole story is there. It just needs, that clipping, trimming, structural arrangement, putting the glue in, putting the emotive reactions, grounding the dialogue. Couldn't do it. And then this morning, I couldn't even tell you what it's about. Usually I like to start my day doing a sketch or something, and this button here lets me draw a line, and then this button here lets me delete it. And I've just add new, draw something, and then delete it. I've just been doing it all day. Well, all day. I mean, it's 5 a.m., but I'm just not in a place where anything makes any kind of sense. And maybe that's okay. I don't know. I don't think watching me do anything is particularly entertaining. Posted that video of me writing. And it's just like you might think. Bald dude staring at a screen. I see the amazing degree of creativity people are displaying and choosing a topic and taking a stance. And it's not that I don't have strong opinions on stuff like that, on social issues or something relevant to writing or art in a specific way. I'm not trying to be vague, to be gnomic, to be mysterious in any kind of way. I just am really dissociated from my own thoughts until I start putting it into a work. My social critique is in the artwork. My venom and social awareness is in my writing. In my day-to-day, I'm a potato. I'm just walking around respirating, able to function in terms of assignment of task. If you ask me to do something, um, I'm able, I can fix things, I'm handy, and I can work in many different professional environments that have credit in that ostensible real world. Quoting Courtney Love. You have credit in the real world. And I do. But I can go weeks and weeks with nothing going on up here. And I'm not bored, and I'm not unhappy. And I can't even interrogate it or analyze it. I'm just completely disconnected. And this fog can last for a long time. And I let all my relationships drop. I can't muster my usual curiosity about their lives. I have nothing to share. If I inventory, like, well, what do you want to talk about, Micah? What's happened to you lately? Oh, nothing has happened to me in ages. What are your thoughts? No thoughts? No thoughts up there? Might paint something. Might write something. When I'm ready to write, it just kind of happens, just much like a doodle or something, I might have a vision that just gets locked in, and finally, after some periods of weeks, here it goes. But is this burnout? Am I just describing burnout? I have a terrible habit of describing absolutely commonplace phenomena that nearly everyone feels, a universal thing, like, I don't know, hunger or something. But in my drama-filled noggin, what is this? A terrible pain has descended on my guts. I'm dying. I'm rotting from the inside. I can't move. I am both nauseous, where I want nothing to enter my mouth, and yet something must. And people will be like, dude, you're just hungry. Stop. So maybe a lot of my malaise is like just me struggling to communicate normal human experiences throughout a day. Oh my God. I tell myself I'm not bored. I really, really was fond of learning the French expression to try to articulate that you're bored. Je suis ennuyeux. I am boring. And I've tried to live in such a way that I don't think that I myself am boring. But I think it's time I settled into that fact, because I can't put this on anyone else. This lack of compositional imagination, this lack of vision and drive to complete visions, that's on me, That's not on, did I get enough Twitter likes? That's not on, did I make enough sales of a prior book? That's not on, COVID or anyone else. It's not anyone's job to keep me motivated. It's mine. Usually, in the past, when I'm experiencing kind of a creative burnout or after a really long project, I'll take a period of time where I just let myself doodle, let myself free write, on napkins or wherever I might be to jot notes down, but I don't have focus on like a writing practice of daily in response to prompts. I'm trying to rest. I just did a big marathon and now I'm going to rest my body. And to rest my mind, I submerged myself in music, art, and media, uh, generally new things, new loves. You know, I don't always just mine that nostalgia machine, as there's only so many times you can do that before the well runs dry. And the availability of something new or even someone to unlock something new for me. Like, I usually find things inaccessible unless I've got a guide, a Beatrice, to take me through the purgatory and layers of hell of some new media that initially I dislike, but I need someone to help me like. I really didn't understand jazz for a long time. I didn't understand the expressiveness of people who would take selfies a lot. I thought there was just some sort of narcissism, fixation on the face. I didn't like think about like the next layers down in terms of what it could mean. Anyway, I'm just saying I like having someone to introduce me to new things, and now I feel like, well, there's nobody new in my life, and two, there's nothing new. So I might cry. It could be the valley fever. I'm so tired all the time, but not always physically tired. I mean, that's the fatigue, but I'm just tired of me, tired of my own restlessness, tired of the sound of my own voice. I don't know. Thanks for watching. You've all been so nice to me. It's really surprising. I mean, not that you're nice. I mean, you're obviously nice people, but I didn't really expect to receive any kind of affection or interest in the things I do. I don't have a negative self-image. I just don't have any self-image at all. So this has been really nice. Anyway, take care. Be good to each other. Love you. Bye.